What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Carolina Hayes, and welcome to the first episode of the New Year 2020. What's happening? Of course, y'all already know, sitting to my left, the bro, the homie. Y'all already know who he is, man.
Well, today, most times I got a big intro. Y'all know me as New Jersey Cannon, but y'all are getting the knowledge, so y'all are getting TJ Green.
And there you go, because of course, y'all see me, I'm cold right now. So, where should we start first, bro? Because 2020 opened up with the fuckery.
Extremely.
For one, it's the first president I've ever seen with a bounty on his head. Like, they got $80 million on this man.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, man.
$80 million from another country to come snipe Donald Trump. How you feel about this one? We talking about possibly a third world war. A general, prominent general from another country gets bombed.
The second most powerful man in Iran.
And our government, mostly our president, is to blame.
Honestly, the way I feel about it, and this is how I feel about all the wars. Send the president over there.
Yeah.
Let him fight his war. Stop letting innocent people die while this man is sitting in office being protected, you know.
And collecting a check.
Yeah, not wishing death on anyone, you know, because at the end of the day, like I explain to people, like, I don't say that I hate Donald Trump. I don't say that. Because I personally don't know that man. I can't hate somebody I don't know. I dislike his ways, you know. I strongly dislike the things that he does, the things that he say. But at the end of the day, he's one of the smartest guys ever. Knowing that he's going to get impeached in 2020 and then starts a war, knowing that if he starts a war, he can't get impeached. Chess move.
On top of that, it's an election year. No president wants to get kicked out of office right as an election year is coming up. So at least we know he's not going to serve another term.
Yeah.
Now, to my people, we cannot let Pence become the president. Can't happen. He's actually worse than Trump.
I mean, what's the other guy? The guy from New York.
You talking the old mayor from New York, man?
Yeah.
I don't even remember his name. But
I don't agree with him at all, due to the fact of
we're talking about the man that was the mayor of New York City right after 9/11.
yeah.
Anybody that knows anything that was going on in New York City at that time, like, what are you really good for?
My thing is this, and this is the honest truth, the way I feel about it. This is the man responsible for stop and frisk. If you don't know what stop and frisk is, if you're in New York City and it's 3 or more African Americans, the police have rights to stop and frisk you with no probable cause. We're talking about that guy. We're also talking about the guy that wants to take everyone's guns. He wants to take your guns. I'm a firearm owner. You know, I own multiple firearms. I do armed security. That's my job. I believe if anything was to happen, I need my firearm due to the fact that I have a right to protect myself. This man is protected by people with guns. What gives you the right to be protected by guns, but as a civilian, I don't have the right to protect myself?
That's a big fact. Like, there's so many Republicans out there saying, "Oh, the Democrats want to take your guns." Then you got other groups out there saying the Republicans want to take the guns. I feel like the government, period, wants to disarm the people at large, so that when they decide they want to do something, there is no type of backlash because you have no weaponry. You can't stand up to us.
But that falls under our Second Amendment.
Right.
Because our Second Amendment falls in, if the government was to ever turn against the people, we'll have the right to arm ourselves. That's what the amendment is for. The Second Amendment is for. It's for rogue governments. You know, if people read their Constitution, they will learn that. So it's like, this year, I don't vote. Everybody knows that. I don't vote.
I do. Me and him have gone back and forth about this off camera multiple times.
Yeah.
we're not doing this on the show because I promise y'all
No,
we will
but
be
you
here
know,
for hours.
that's my opinion. You know, I don't vote due to the fact of I believe there's no need for me to vote for a greater evil. Like, pretty much that's all it is. I'm picking on the better evil. When we talk about presidents, and that's how I feel about it personally. So I vote within my city, you know, for city elections, of course, you know, because that actually deals with me, you know,
and the actual community you live
Yeah.
in. So I get that.
So I do vote when it comes down to my city and my community. But as for the presidential elections, I don't vote.
This is the thing. This is part of what I don't understand. You go to any other country, they're not like okay, this part of the country can come up with their own rules for that part of the country, but you also have to deal with our countrywide rules.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not gonna go to France and it's the north side of France and south side of France, and north side got different. You know what I'm saying? Laws for the north side that the south side don't have. Why are we living in a government where there's one federal law and then 50 other local laws?
Yeah, you got your state laws.
You know what I mean? So now you got two sets of laws. You got also memorize, remember, and make sure you abide by. But also, if the state decides they want to do something within that state, they don't have the power to do. They can do it, but if it still goes against federal law, you can still be charged federally.
Yeah, but it's crazy because just like you just said, but even the state laws can change because look at Virginia. Virginia is now a blue state. You know, where in Virginia you was welcome to have any type of firearm. You know, and that was one of the reasons why I liked Virginia. You know, I did at the time because if I wanted to travel and you have your concealed license, you could go through Virginia, you could stop anywhere with your firearm. Now you can't do that. You know, and it just shows how fast things could change within your state. You have to know your state laws. Like I tell people all the time, like especially as African Americans, negligence of the law is not an excuse. You have to know your state laws. You have to know your federal laws. You have to know what you're going against. You know, and a lot of people are ignorant to that. Like in the state of North Carolina, you know, that's why I like the state of North Carolina because you can open carry. You don't need a license for a firearm. All you need is a permit to purchase.
And that's one thing I'll say personally for anybody that's like me, that bounces back and forth between the two Carolinas. You know, that's how I got in the situation I'm in now.
Yeah.
Anyone that knows me personally knows I've been in Charlotte for the better half of 10 years. So of course, even though I still had a South Carolina license, and I bought my firearm in South Carolina, I was technically living in North Carolina. So me being used to now being in an open carry state and not having to live by certain laws, going back to South Carolina, it's like you have to once you leave a state that you're used to, their laws, you have to reacquaint yourself with the laws of the state that you're going to, and then not forget to mistake any laws of one state for another, because you will find yourself in a position like myself with a gun charge for a gun that I legally own.
Yeah.
So, educate yourself, people, and please, as a community, let's do better at educating ourselves and not being out here with foolishness.
Yeah, man. You know, like that's why I encourage people to go get their license, you know, to conceal. Because once you get your license to conceal, you can travel to other states if they allow it. You know, you have to know what states to go. Like I know for a fact, if I ever go to Jersey to visit my mother or my grandmother, I can't take my firearm because they don't allow that. You know, and they had a certain incident not too long ago where a person from the South took their firearm to New York, and it was a licensed firearm. You know, they had their license to conceal to travel to other states, but New York is not one of them states where they could go, and they got into a lot of legal troubles. You know,
Yeah.
Thank God that the person didn't
face
prison time because
they were within the city limits, weren't
Yeah.
they? See, and that's the other thing that kills me about how American law is set up, because in New York State, you're allowed to have guns, but within New York City limits, You're telling me within city limits where there are 1 billion people living,
Where they have the most crime.
where they have the most crime, you telling me people aren't allowed to own a firearm legally? If you're a law-abiding citizen with no felonies, no violent background, I don't see the point. You're leaving thousands and probably close to 1 million people, if not more, unarmed and unprotected, and also living in a society where they can't even really trust the police.
Yeah.
Like, so, well, I feel sorry for anybody that's really out there trying to do good in New York City and really want to protect themselves and the people around them, because you really don't have that option. You're either on the wrong side of the law or you're a sitting duck.
Yeah.
Which is why I always said I would never move to New York City.
Yeah, that's why I won't move back to New Jersey. Had plenty of conversations with my mother, my brother, and everybody trying to get me to move back home. And I'm like, me being from Camden, New Jersey, knowing the crime rate, knowing the society there, I won't move back there knowing that I could be unarmed. At any given time, I can be a target because I like to dress well. And North Carolina has its problems. It has a lot of problems in North Carolina, But I will say this: when it comes down to being a citizen, you have rights to protect yourself here.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing that I like. We have castle law. If anyone tries to come into my house, I have rights to defend myself. We have stand your ground law, which if someone tries to do anything to me in the streets, I have rights to defend myself. And I agree with those things because in a society that we live in right now, especially within the African American community, with all the crime rate that's going up, especially in Charlotte, you have to be ready to protect yourself at all times. You don't even have to live that type of lifestyle to be a target anymore. Because
y'all know here at the Highest Circle, we focus on things that concern, for the most part, our black and brown communities. Us as black people and brown people, I hear everybody and see everybody on social media saying, oh, it's 2020, let's do this different, I'm doing this different, or you still on that, it's 2020. Can we leave all this bullshit in 2019? Like, y'all, first off, half y'all out here so-called shooters ain't got no aim, so y'all don't really be hitting the things y'all aiming for, and that's how innocent people get killed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my advice, if you don't know how to aim, you some kid out here just angry in your emotions, stay at home, play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Do something constructive with your time. Like, somebody piss you off, go write a song about it.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Half you little niggas want to be rappers anyway. Your op piss you off, go write a song about it. Diss the nigga.
My thing is this, right? And this is what I learned growing as the type of man that I am now. If you take all that energy that you have, that you put in towards the streets and put into something positive, I guarantee you will make money.
Yeah.
You will make legal money. It's crazy how we live in a society now where in the African American community, in the brown community, the Hispanic community, we glorify the bullshit.
But we shun all the positivity. Well, what were you saying earlier? That old statement? Don't nobody want to hear that Sharif.
Yeah, we shun the Sharif. Nobody want to hear that shit, Sharif. And it's crazy because, like, now I know what Sharif was talking about. You feel me? How many people that's listening to this podcast that lost somebody to violence? And at the end of the day, and we think in our mind, like, it's normal. It's not normal. You have to come a time in your life when you become an adult and you start trying to build a family. You want to realize what type of life are you living that's going to affect your kids or your significant other, your wife, your husband. How do you want your children to grow up? I remember growing up in the 90s where even in the most dangerous community in America at the time, number one in murder, number one in poverty, we had a community where we didn't let our kids just do anything.
That's a fact.
And this
we can honestly, me and you can both know that we're both living testimonies of that, because let's think about it. Throughout our teenage years, both of our home states didn't leave the top 10 when it came to violent crimes.
Yeah.
like New Jersey and South Carolina are by far two of the most violent places in America. Even when you compare them to places like California and
Chicago,
the Chicago's, even the Floridas and New York cities, like these are New Jersey. Would you say New Jersey is more of a city type place than South? Well, definitely,
it is
definitely more of a city type place.
It's
than
city,
South Carolina.
but the reason why, like, okay, so the way how I see New Jersey is because a lot of people don't understand that it's divided so much, you know, where even just going to Newark or going to Trenton is like we go to a whole nother country. You have people in Camden, New Jersey, and this is the truth, that never leaves their hood. I know people that never left their hood.
It's like that in Columbia too. I know people right now, family members and everything, that have never left. Some of them not even so much never left Columbia. They've never left South Carolina a day in their lives.
When I say never left, it's crazy because Camden is small, but they never, like,